welcome to Ask Mom's podcast.
Hi, this is Kim and Kim. Welcome back to Ask Mom's podcast. We are not professionals, but we can share our experience and remind you that
You're awesome.
We are talking all things motherhood, the good, the tough, and everything in between. And because it's October, and that means spooky season, we are going to welcome you to our Halloween podcast for parents, where we'll turn your spooky stress into spooktacular fun. Because if we're going to do this, let's make it fun and create some unforgettable and lasting memories along the way for our kids and us.
Let's start with this.
Okay.
How early do you start costume planning? Or do you kind of wing it last minute? So remember, Izzy was just in here, one of our guests. He was just in here visiting us. And so I asked him, I said, okay, if you didn't have a costume, what would you do last minute? And he had a great answer, like off the cuff. He said, a Christmas present, right?
Yeah.
You just get a big cardboard box, you wrap it in Christmas wrap, and poke a hole in it for the kid's head. And they can actually wear coats underneath. Like, he had it all covered.
Make it high vis with the ribbons and stuff.
Yeah. And then when you go up to the door, the kids can say, oh, Merry Christmas. Oops. Happy Halloween.
See, that's adorable.
It was fun.
Or
Anyway.
you could also do that ghost, right? I mean, that's always a,
Yes.
last minute kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or Barbie, go all pink, wear everything pink,
Oh.
right? So that's kind of like a Barbie theme.
And the other thing is, how do you get kids to agree on something? So my thought is sell it with a story, like give them a backstory, like that Christmas thing.
Yes.
When you can, I liked when Izzy said, they could walk up to the door and say Merry Christmas. So the whole time they're just building it up in their mind to say it.
They got something fun to do with it,
Yeah,
too.
so you can kind of sell it with a story.
I like that.
Okay, so one costume that we tried when my son was like 9,
Yeah.
which did not work, so save the effort, is we put a green garbage bag over his head, and we blew up about, oh my God. No, we poked a hole in a green garbage bag because he was tall enough that the bag just went right.
Oh, so
to
like a
his
poncho
shoes.
kind of covered him.
Yeah, like an
Okay.
upside down, poncho.
Like a raincoat.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. And so what we did is we blew up, I don't know how many balloons, like 20 green balloons, and green and red, and we made them grapes, him and his buddy. And by the second house, all the balloons were just like sagging because I guess the weather, it did not look like grapes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What,
And it was like in 2 minutes. It wasn't even like at the end of. So that was a fail.
it's more like a raisin at that point, right? He was going out as a raisin.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we thought it was brilliant, but apparently it wasn't.
Well, I think it's adorable, and that's just part of the memories, right? Remember, and this is a story,
Exactly.
so it's all good.
And it was funny and cute at the same time.
Yeah. Then there's also the trick-or-treating made easy. No stress. Let's take that away. There's always the neighborhood prep, like safety and visibility, the flashlights, the glow sticks. I know you've heard about these things. And wagons for tired kids when you're still going out with them. Bringing extra bags for the loot. Group walks.
I got to stop you. The wagon,
Brilliant.
like good thinking, Kim. That,
I know. Like they're exhausted, some of the little ones, so fast. Or their shoes are hurting them. Or,
Yeah.
Then just sit in the wagon. Or the parents can sit in the wagon while they're
or
running
just
up to
the buildup
houses.
of the excitement just exhausts. You think, oh, we're only going to go to 5 houses, and you get to 2, and they're just like,
They're done.
yeah.
Yeah. So here's another tricky one, though. What age is good for your kids to start going without parents or like without older siblings or friends? And this is a tough one because all kids are different.
I don't know. Do you have an idea about that?
I do. It really depends on various factors such as their maturity level, right? Because all kids are not the same. Safety awareness, that's important too. The specific environment they'll be in, right? If they're like in a downtown city kind of thing.
Right. Where you don't really know the neighbors.
So that's tough. So familiar and safe settings are crucial. That is so important for them.
The maturity, I'm just thinking about the maturity one. That's really important because a lot of times people tie these things to an age.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yeah.
They might not be there yet.
Nope. So, because they've got to be making decisions and understanding the safety protocols, things
Yeah.
can go sideways.
Yeah.
So they've got to kind of be able to manage that. And if they're not able to, maybe not ready, and making sure your kids can communicate with the parents too, in case, right,
phone.
of emergency.
Yeah.
That's right.
Have your phone on and answer if I call you.
That's right. You can also track them too, because there's all these different GPS tracking devices or on smartwatches, things like that.
Kim, that's a great idea.
Or, just the mobile phone, right? Use the tracking location so you can watch where your little ones are going and you know where they are. And even if you're like 10 feet behind you.
Yeah. But even if you have that, I would still make sure they're in a safe area.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, because, somebody could steal their smartwatch or something.
Yeah. Or
So,
them.
Jeez.
I'm not being Debbie Downer.
No. You're being real,
yeah,
unfortunately.
I know.
That's
I know.
horrid. Yes.
I love your reaction to that.
So some general guidelines, though, that I did the research on is at ages 6 to 8, at that age, kids may start to feel comfortable being left with older siblings in familiar surroundings, right, at home and in your backyard. So short outings with close friends may be manageable for them, and that's ages 6 to 8.
Responsible sibling.
Now, at ages 9 to 12, kids can often handle more independence, but making sure that they understand safety rules, that's crucial.
Yeah.
And at ages 13 and up, teenagers are, usually ready for more freedom, but they still need to check in with the parents and follow the established guidelines you guys set, like where you can go and what time you have to be home, things like that.
For sure.
Keeping track of your kids in big crowds or dark streets. I mean, Halloween can be thrilling and exciting, but it's also chaos out there, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Wild
So what
West.
do? You have them wear a special hat or something that makes them stand out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those high-vis vests.
Make them stand out from all those other costumes that are out there. And all the other parents that want their kids
We're
to
doing the
stand
same,
out.
So every child is glowing with neon.
Okay, we're going to go and talk about candy now. So we were, again, Izzy when he was here. So what I did is I just said, okay, Izzy, because he has an answer for everything. So logical answer for everything, not being cheeky. Like he has a good answer.
Yeah.
When we were thinking about this podcast, the first thing that came to me was stranger danger, people you don't know giving your kids candy. Like that to me does not sound like a great idea, right?
No.
And especially now when they're injecting things with drugs and
Jeez.
Oh my God. First and foremost, I hate to be this person, but any homemade stuff or any apples even, like anything that's not securely wrapped.
Unless it's like your grandma, or your next door neighbor, or your auntie.
Yeah, if it's somebody, 100%.
for sure. Yeah.
If it's somebody that you know, for sure.
But strangers.
But strangers that, here's a Rice Krispie square and you don't know them. I don't know. So if it was me, I would toss them. So maybe not give those things out.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time if people are just going to throw them away. And then even on top of that, even if they're wrapped, I would look for holes, puncture holes, or if it's been opened, or am I being like...
It's just really sad that we have to do this, but that's just smart.
Because sometimes I feel like I'm just I don't want to go overboard, getting super cautious, but I'm thinking, and if you don't know the neighborhood and you don't know the people...
Yeah, and we do hear stories, unfortunately.
Another really good point that he had about candy is... set the guidelines before the kids go out. So they know when they come home. Here, we'll use an example, okay? You're going out with your children and you say, okay, have a great time. When you come home, though, just understand you're going to have 3 candies tonight because it'll be almost bedtime and sugar makes you whatever, however you want to explain it. Just tell them, so when they get home, they don't expect that they can have all this candy and you... in the moment say, oh, no, you can only have 3.
Yeah.
They only understand.
Yes.
And then on top of that, he added a fun factor to that, saying the 3 favorite things in your bag you can have.
Yeah.
So as they're collecting the goodies from the houses, they go, oh, I'm going to have this later or whatever.
And he covered my out for that, my workaround, because as a kid, if somebody told me that, I would be eating my candy all through trick-or-treating so that I would get everything and then have my 3.
Right. Yes. And then he said, no
candy.
Before you leave, no eating while you're out there. Yeah. You can only eat when you come back. Yeah, I forgot that part.
It's safer, too, anyway, right?
Yeah, to my first point.
We've got to inspect things.
To my first Debbie Downer point.
That's not Debbie Downer. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Oh, I know. know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, make sure it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for poke holes or things not wrapped.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Throw them out. And then the proactive part of they can just eat 3. And if they're really good, maybe give them 4 and then add that extra excitement.
Yeah.
Right?
Discuss safety rules. Like, make sure you do have that conversation. They might do it at school, too. So talk about staying together, using crosswalks, and being aware of their surroundings.
Yes.
And designate meeting points.
And don't take lifts from people.
Oh, my gosh, no. Even if they say your mom and dad said it's okay.
Yes.
No, don't listen.
Safe word.
Safe word. That's important, too.
So you should always have, no matter it's Halloween or whatever, you
Yeah.
always have a safe word in
Yeah.
case of emergency. So
Good
if somebody goes up to your child and says, your mom and dad told me that I have to come and get you, they say no.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they have the safe word and they said, well, they said to say watermelon or whatever your word is.
Yeah.
And then they know that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you also do have that meeting place so everybody knows that if people get separated and stuff like that, we know where to meet.
So I'm thinking about some of the moms that are listening to us that might have expected us to be like super creative and come up with all these great ideas. And here we are, moms like, make sure the candy is safe. Make sure you have your fluorescent whatever on. Yeah.
We just want to keep you
But
safe.
that's our moms.
That's
yeah,
right.
We're moms. That's why we're here. So
Doing the buddy system. Don't let them go out on their own.
100%,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have a buddy.
never alone.
Pair up with other friends or siblings to make sure that they look out for each other. Have an adult supervising groups of kids to monitor. We kind of hit on that already, though.
But I kind of like the merge into letting them do it on their own.
Yes.
Like what our guys did.
Slowly they learn.
They walked around with them first, for a few years. Then they would stand on the corner and they had to kind of report back every now and then. And you get you can see, okay, they're handling this well, whatever.
And the kids are building their self-confidence too, going through this.
Yeah. And the age thing is not necessarily the guideline either.
No.
So
That's exactly because every child is different, maturity levels.
100%.
And so also make sure you stick to neighborhoods you know. Plan your route ahead of time. So plan a designated route. Make sure your parents or caregiver know where you're going, and you stick to that route too. And stick to the well-lit streets and places with sidewalks if possible.
Yes.
Set specific time limits too.
Yeah.
And then make sure you do a post-event check-in. Now, this is something that we never did, but I think it's really smart. So the parents or caregivers, whoever, can talk to you. How was your experience? Did you have a lot of fun? Was there anything that made you feel weird or uncomfortable? Right?
Oh, a lot of information in
Safety
a very short
first.
time. Fun and safety.
Exactly,
We like having
yes.
fun too.
If you parents have any candy left over, which, I know that's not often, but if you do, there are great ideas. You can use the candy for Christmas. Right? So, all
That's
those.
close enough.
You could donate it to, food banks or to shelters, things like that.
Or to me.
Or to you. Any chocolate goes directly to Kim.
Yeah.
As you juggle costumes, candy, and kids, just remember, if the Halloween spirit doesn't lift you up, a hefty dose of chocolate absolutely will. Let's take a moment to remember the thrill we felt as kids on Halloween, too. Do you remember how exciting that was?
Oh, yes.
So now it's our turn
We
to...
used pillowcases.
Yeah, those were the best. Yeah. Now it's our turn to make this magical for our little ghouls and goblins.
My favorite Halloween was Ben was 3, I think, and I was working late. We were in a little cul-de-sac. I think there was only 12 houses on our whole street. We knew everyone. And so I got home, and they were already out, and he was dressed like a little lion.
Oh.
So here's my husband holding his hand, and they're walking along the sidewalk. But my husband didn't realize that my son's bag was so full, it was dragging. And it was just like a plastic bag. It wasn't even like...
Oh, no.
And so as they're coming along, I could see 1 or 2 candles. Oh. But the nice thing is I pull into the driveway. All the neighbors came out all the time. And then all the neighbors came out, and they're watching all the kids. And I got out. I didn't even get changed or anything. And one of my neighbors ran across the street with a bowl of chili. So I was eating chili, watching them do trick-or-treating.
Aw.
But it was hilarious. And I never said anything to my husband. I thought it was just so funny.
That is so
Because
nice.
the bag was so heavy, he was just dragging it.
That's what we're trying to do, is just make our little ghouls and goblins experience the same magic we did, just with a lot more parental caffeine and a side of stress.
Yeah, the world's different than when we were little.
But we want to make it safe and just as good with great memories.
Yeah.
So happy Halloween from Ask Moms, where we believe parenting should be a treat, not a trick.
Yeah.
And we thank you again for tuning in. Please connect with us by emailing askmomstoday@gmail.com. And you can also listen to our podcast on Hunters Bay Radio at 88.7 FM on the dial or www.muskokaradio.com. We hope you feel heard, supported, and empowered. We had so much fun putting this together for you and hope it's been helpful. So until next time, take care of yourself and please remember, you're not alone.
You've
got
got
this.
this.